Did you know brands manipulate you every single day? And most of the time, you don't even notice it? From the colors on your favorite soda can to the tiny sounds in an ad, your brain is being hacked in ways you'd never suspect. Every scroll, every click, every glance at a logo is carefully designed to trigger emotions: excitement, happiness, even a little bit of anxiety, all nudging you toward buying. And the craziest part? You think you're making free choices, when in reality the choice was planted in your mind long before you reached for your wallet. By the end of this video, you'll see the secret strategies brands use to shape your decisions. And once you notice them, you'll never look at shopping the same way again. Explaining the problem. The power of branding. Brands don't just compete for your money. They compete for a place inside your brain. And they've mastered the art of sneaking in without asking for permission. Take logos, for example. The golden arches of McDonald's or the red of Coca-Cola don't just represent food or a drink, they trigger instant associations: hunger, thirst, nostalgia, even comfort. Your body reacts before you can logically think about it. You see the color red, and suddenly you're craving sweetness. You see those arches on a highway sign, and your stomach starts to growl, even if you weren't hungry a second ago. And it's not just logos. Brands use sound as a weapon too. The Netflix ta-dum, the Intel jingle, the little chime on your favorite app. These are not random sounds. They're engineered hooks designed to stick in your memory like gum on your shoe. Once they're there, they don't leave. Colors, shapes, and sounds bypass rational thought and go straight to the emotional brain. That's why Coca-Cola can spend billions on advertising and still see a return. They aren't selling sugar water, they're selling a feeling. A direct line to your subconscious that whispers, "Drink me, choose me, love me." And the scariest part? You don't even notice it happening. You think you're making rational decisions, when in reality, brands have already nudged you toward the choice they wanted. This is the invisible battlefield of modern marketing. It's not about products anymore, it's about mindshare. Whoever wins your subconscious wins your wallet. Deepening the problem. Scarcity and social proof. If branding works on the subconscious, scarcity and social proof attack your decision-making even more directly. These are the tools that brands use to push you into buying now, not later. Think about scarcity. Limited time offer. Only 3 items left in stock. Today only. These phrases create an artificial sense of urgency. Your brain goes into survival mode, convinced that if you don't act immediately, you'll miss out forever. This isn't rational thought. It's fear of missing out, hardwired into human psychology. When we believe something is scarce, we instantly assign it more value, even if it isn't truly rare. Then comes social proof. Humans are tribal creatures. When we see others doing something, buying something, or praising something, our brains translate it as validation. Bestseller. Most popular. Trending now. It doesn't matter if the label is based on truth or pure marketing spin, the effect is the same. We want what everyone else seems to want, because we equate popularity with safety. Apple has mastered both. Every product launch feels like a ritual. People camp outside stores for days, not just to buy a phone, but to be part of a cultural moment. The sold-out headlines only fuel the frenzy. Scarcity makes the product feel exclusive. The massive lines and glowing reviews serve as social proof. Together they create a perfect storm of manipulation. And fashion? That's the industry's entire playbook. Clothes don't just cover your body, they cover your identity. But here's the kicker. Are you really expressing yourself, or are you just updating yourself according to someone else's script? I broke this down in another video called Fashion Trends Explained. Are you just a walking update? You'll find the link in the description below. it shows exactly how trends guide your choices without you even noticing. So if you're finding this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to hit subscribe. Because the deeper we go into these hidden tricks, the harder it gets to ignore how much control brands actually have over your daily life. Scarcity, social proof. Together, they turn shopping into a psychological trap. And unless you recognize the signs, you'll always be one step behind the game. Offering a solution. Emotional triggers. If scarcity and social proof trick your logic, emotional triggers go even deeper. Brands know one universal truth: people don't buy products, they buy feelings. Think about it. You don't buy Nike sneakers because of the material or the stitching. You buy them because of what they represent: victory, ambition, greatness. That swoosh on the side isn't just a logo. It's a promise that you'll just do it. And suddenly, wearing those shoes feels like wearing success itself. Luxury brands thrive on this strategy too. A Rolex isn't just a watch. It's time, status, and prestige on your wrist. Driving a certain car isn't just about horsepower. It's about being seen as powerful, sophisticated, or free. These brands don't sell objects, they sell identities. And every purchase is a vote for the version of yourself you want to project. Here's the tricky part. These emotions bypass rationality. You don't sit down and calculate whether a handbag is worth thousands of dollars in leather and stitching. Instead, you feel an instant pull, a rush of belonging, envy, or aspiration. That's the emotional brain taking over. So how do you resist? Step 1 is awareness. The moment you catch yourself saying, "I need this because it makes me feel," stop and question it. Do you really need the item, or are you craving the emotion it promises? If it's the emotion, ask yourself, can I find another way to create that feeling? Happiness, confidence, success, these can't be bought. They're states of mind that brands love to package and resell to you. The real solution is realizing that the emotion was already inside you before the ad ever whispered it into your ear. Because once you see the trick, it loses power. And the next time a brand tries to sell you joy in a bottle, you'll know better. Gamechanger, subliminal messaging. If branding, scarcity, and emotional triggers feel manipulative, subliminal messaging is the game changer that takes everything to the next level. Because here, you're not just being influenced by what you see and hear, you're being manipulated by what you don't consciously notice at all. Subliminal cues are subtle signals hidden in ads, music, videos, and even the layout of your social media feed. They bypass your rational brain and go straight to the subconscious. Think of it as background programming. Your mind absorbs patterns, colors, words, and sounds without you ever realizing it. Take advertising for fast food. Studies have shown that the smell of fries pumped into a space or a split-second flash of food imagery can spark hunger cravings even if you weren't hungry before. Your brain registers it as desire without telling you why. That's subliminal messaging in action. Or look at TikTok and Instagram. Ever noticed how certain sounds become trends? A catchy 5-second audio gets attached to thousands of clips. Soon you find yourself humming it, or worse, associating it with products and lifestyles. That repetition wires your brain to link an emotion with a brand, without you actively deciding to. Placement is another trick. In movies, the hero casually drives a certain car or drinks a particular soda. You don't think twice, but the image sticks. Next time you're choosing between options in real life, your brain nudges you toward the brand you've seen before. That nudge doesn't feel forced. It feels like your own choice, but it isn't. This is the ultimate form of manipulation because it erases the line between your will and their strategy. When subliminal messaging works, you believe you're acting freely, while in reality, you're walking down a path carefully planted in your subconscious. Here's the twist. Once you recognize these tactics, you can't unsee them. Suddenly, every ad feels like a puzzle. Every trending video looks like a setup. And instead of blindly absorbing, you start analyzing. That awareness is dangerous. For the brands, not for you. Because when you see subliminal cues for what they are, you take back the steering wheel of your mind. You stop being just a passenger in the marketing machine. And that's why subliminal messaging is the real game changer. Once you know it exists, you'll never experience media the same way again. So the next time you scroll, pause. Notice what sounds are looping, what logos are hiding in plain sight, what emotions are being nudged. That pause is your power. It's the small crack in the system that lets you step outside the manipulation and finally choose for yourself. Conclusion and call to action. Taking back control. So, what does all this mean for you? We've seen how companies use branding, scarcity, social proof, and subtle psychological tricks to influence your decisions, often without you realizing it. But here's the thing, once you become aware, you can't unsee it. Awareness is your shield. If you enjoyed this deep dive, you'll probably love my other video, 7 Dark Psychology Tricks. I've linked it here and in the description. It's all about the hidden tactics people use in everyday life. Also, if you're curious about how hidden systems shape our daily lives, check out my playlist, Decoded Everyday Life and Human Systems. You'll find plenty of mind-bending insights there. And don't forget, if you want to keep exploring reality with me, hit that subscribe button. It helps a lot, and it makes sure you don't miss the next drops. Thanks, and see you soon. Don't forget to upgrade your reality.